but it's been dry lately, and there was a chance of rain this it's Saturday night. And first it said the super predictable weatherman said 1 inch, and then over the course of the day it dropped down to nothing, and then all of a sudden we ended up getting like 1 inch, which is good. But they have had more rain further out west of us and north, and so there is a potential for some of the rivers and stuff to come up. Dad and Arlen, they're one irrigated farm. They pump out of the river, so we have a pump set down close to the river. One of my pivots was running, and so I'm actually running over here to shut that off. It's like, I don't know, 12:30 at night / morning. So while I'm over here, I might run over and check and see how close the river is to coming up close to the pump. Well, I got in here to shut this off. I actually flipped the breaker out by the road. By turning that off, it kills the power to the panel that controls the pivot. So then the pivot would stopped moving, which then, because of the safety switches, when the pivot stops, it kills the motor. So I just wanted to come in here, make sure the motor turned off. So that is good. And next I'll probably run over and check, either drive over one of the bridges on the river and see if it looks like it's up, or just drive over, because it's right there too, Dad and Arlen's field there, and just drive back in there where the pump is sitting. And that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just go ahead. I got my side-by-side with me, so I'll probably just drive back in there and check and see what it looks like actually where the pump is sitting. So again, don't know if you can see me, but got over here to the river farm. That's what we call it, Dad and Arlen's, because they pump out of the river. They don't have a pivot here to irrigate. They actually got like this kind of pipe, but this is what's coming up from the river down there. The pump is down there. I guess I already went down there and looked. I suppose I can go back down there and show it to you. It's a little muddy and slippery getting down this, so we'll see if I can do this again without falling on my butt. There's the river, so it's down there a ways yet, so we're good as of right now. I suppose either I'll wake up again after I get back home and take a few hours nap, or Dad will come up in here again in a bit and we'll check it again to see if the river's come up anymore. Well, last night didn't have to pull the pump, the river pump, for Dad and Arlen, but today, well, it was technically this morning, I guess, because I was up there about 3 o'clock or so in the AM, and now it is currently about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and Dad just called me about 5-10 minutes ago and said that the river was starting to come up a bit, within, I think he said, a couple feet of the tires on the pump, on the motor there. So I'm headed over. He's up there right now. I'm taking apart some of the pipe to get it out of the way. I gotta run over here to the shop and grab a couple extra chains to get down the bank to hook onto it. So we'll just yank it out of there with either his pickup, or if my side-by-side can get it up out of there, which I think it probably should. It's not that heavy, but we'll see. All right, we'll venture back in here and see what we got. know, I didn't go down in there before we pulled this guy out and kind of show you how it's sitting down in here in the daylight. Last night it was probably hard to see, but that's the embankment going down. This is, we're top side up here, and the pump sits down in there. Run down here and show you real quick. You'll be able to see where it sits from. There's one spot where one of the tires sunk in, but this is where it was sitting, and the suction pipe coming off of it was shooting out between those stakes there. And last night, oh, he took I just remembered I handed him my pliers and he took them. Suction pipe sits out there, but anyway, as you can see, this is where the pump was sitting and the water is right there. So I think Dad said from the time he got up here he thought it had come up 6 inches already. So I was up here about 2 or 3 o'clock and it was down there a ways yet. He said he came up about 6 and checked it, and it was up a ways, and then this afternoon now he came up here and it was all the way up here. So I think it's slowly rising, so better to get it out now than later when there's water here. I remember there was one time a number of years ago when I was, I don't know, middle school or something, back when they still used to use the old International M tractor down here. The family was supposed to go to a baseball game or something in Omaha, and the neighbor called and told Dad, you better check your pump, the river's coming up. And I wasn't here to see it, but I guess the water, so it was a tractor, so you know, the rear tires, which are bigger, probably about here, and I think he said there was only, I don't know, a foot above the tire showing. So he had to, so I mean that water probably would have been up to about here or so down here. So he had to come down here and swim under the murky with that lovely brown water you can see out there. He had to come down here and swim under it and feel around and hook the chain around the front of the tractor, and then they pulled it out. But probably had another tractor pulling it out that time if it was that wet. But the side-by-side worked. We just got hung up again. I didn't show you, sorry. Instead of coming straight out, it kind of walked over this way and got stuck right here. And then we had that suction line was still on it, so, and it's still muddy enough up top that I was just spinning. So after once we took the suction line off and I backed up and shortened the chain up, then it popped right over that. But we got it out. So oh yeah, I was explaining, so the pump sits down there, and then there's the pipe that runs up this embankment up here, shoots over. That's part of it over there we took apart so we could drive through here, but it shoots over all along here, obviously hooks up to this one, and then comes over here and tees up with the gated pipe, and that is all along the end of the field. Now for this to work, your field ideally be at least slightly sloped out that way, but then if you look right there, you can see that plastic thing. Well, let's see, that way. So we slide it open and there's a hole there. Now we don't usually open it up all the way, but you open it up however much you want and the water comes out, and then it runs down in between the rows. And what also helps with it running through the rows is after we plant, once the crop gets big enough, there's a machine we have called a hiller, and it's just something that attaches to the back of the tractor, and it just creates a little, it kind of plows down the center of the row and makes a little valley there, so that way the water goes right down in there. Otherwise, if you didn't do that, it would just kind of go every which way and it wouldn't go down through the field like you want. So that's another thing. Oh, gasket fell out here. So that's the end right there. So there's these gaskets that go in there, so that way when the pipe slides together, each piece, it don't leak. So each piece is you know, I don't know, 30 some feet. You know, there's the beginning of one there, and then the end of that one is right there. So from here, about right over there where those stakes are. So every year we got to go out after we've planted, after we've hilled, then we got to go out and lay out all this pipe, hook it all together, and then you can water. And then obviously before harvest, we got to come back, take it all apart, pick it all up, and put it back in the pile. We just keep it back here on some piles, and the way we get it out to where we want it and pick it up, we got like a trailer. We just, oh, it's over there. We go, it's over there. Trailer that we, you know, we put one trailer load on and then go and put it out and hook it up, and then come back and load it up again and go out, and so on and so forth, and in reverse when we go to pick it up. So she's out. We don't got to worry about if the river does come up anymore. Good. So I'm gonna go back home and enjoy the rest of my Sunday.